Hi Anushka, I wanted to make you a practice video so that you can work on a few things over the break. The first thing we'll go over is your bow exercise that you've been doing for a while. I want to make sure that you're doing it properly with the correct bowing and the correct note pattern. So I'll just play through that exercise with the metronome ticking away at 60. I'm just pulling up my metronome here. Okay, here we go. So remember, what we're working on is the bow hand and what its job is in the lower half. So we're going to start here with our pointer finger popped up. Press it down. Pop it up. Okay. Now, I believe we're doing G2 octave scale, so it's going to look like this. And you can choose to do this with the pointer finger moving up and down, or just leave it down, but still try to feel that weight transfer back and forth. Transfer weight onto the pointer finger when we're at the tip, and then we transfer weight back onto the pinky when we're at the frog. Okay, a couple of times my bow actually hit the chair because I'm sitting in a chair with arms, so that was that weird sound you might have heard. Now, going on to the next thing I want you to review, remember in Bourrée, the song we're studying now, there are those two chords on the very first line. So the first chord has three notes, D, A, and F sharp. However, because there is a trill, we want to think about landing on a G natural instead. It sounds a little bit funny, but we're not going to be holding that G natural out for very long because it is a trill. So we're going to play the D and the A to the balance point. Remember, the balance point is the best place to break your chord. So if you find your balance point on your bow, it's usually a little bit below the middle part of the bow. Find your own personal balance point on your bow by just balancing it on your finger. And that's where you want to break your chord. When I say break your chord, we're going from the lower two notes to the higher two notes. Like that. It's a lot easier. So we're going to play 1/3 bow, 2/3 bow. Okay? Then, when you feel comfortable, add a little trill. Then, 2 trills. And then you could do 3 trills, or you can just focus on getting 2 trills really, really fast. Here's 3 trills. I think that was 3. The next chord you play is in measure 4, G, D, C. So you'll play G and D to the balance point, then D and C to the upper half. Then you're going to play the B also through the bottom 2, or through, let me rephrase that. So G and D, then D and C. Then you might also hold the B with the D for an additional double stop. So I hope that was clear. But whether or not you play the B with an open D, I don't really think it matters. You could also play, you could just play the B by itself, or I think it's just a personal preference thing. All right, now what I would like to do is go over to Bourrée number 2 and just play it super slowly with metronome so that you can see what my bow is doing and what my fingers are doing. I'll try to get the best camera angle. Okay, so I have my metronome at 80 right now, and that will be our 8th note click. So you'll have to make sure that any long notes or ties that you're really thinking about how many 8th notes are in them. For example, there's a dotted half note at measure 9 at the end of line 2. End of line 2, it's a B flat dotted half note. That's going to be 6 8th notes that you're hearing. And then further down in measure 18, there's a half note A tied to an 8th note A, and that one would be 5 8th notes. So that one's a little odd. Just make sure you account for the 8th note click. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and.